Hello. Don't mind me. I'm just over here casting on. Yes, I am actually casting on because I have some FOs today. Not one, but two. As you can see, dun dun dun. I did indeed finish my Fiorellino, but I'll tell you all about that later on. How's everybody doing? Let's see. Oh, I see Katrin is here. There's Laura. Look at Laura with the fancy emojis going on. Impressive. I love it. And Carol's here and Anne is here. And oh, a beautiful 74 degrees. I'm very envious of that. You know, it's just hot in Florida this time of year. I told my dying to knit people, I think I saw that there's like a heat wave across the country, but obviously not in California. And here in Florida, we just don't notice it because it's just hot this time of year. So hello, everyone. I'm so glad y'all are here. Valera, Katrin, let's see. Karen from Tulsa is here. I hope they're taking good care of you, Karen, for sure. And 86 in South Carolina, heat index of 94. Yes, very toasty indeed, for sure. Oh, thank you, Carol. Yes. Oh, over 100 all week. And Diane, cooler and windy here in Ontario. Very good. So maybe that mean maybe it'll cool off across the states then? You never know. I'm sure everyone else is hoping for that. I was thinking in just over a month, I will be making my next trip out of state to some hopefully cooler temperatures. So we don't have we don't have that long, hopefully, to deal with unbearable weather. And then we'll get some reprieves here and there. So anyway, all right, let's do this, shall we? I actually have a lot to tell y'all today. Y'all want to hear about my books? I know I've been talking about my reading a lot, but I don't know if y'all even care. You may not care. I don't know. So y'all know that I'm busy reading the Louise Penny Gamache series. I finished book 10, The Long Way Home, and books 8 and 9, whew, they were brutal. Like she just reaches in, grabs your heart and just twists it. But she does it in a way that I don't know. Because I like a happy ending, and she definitely deals with some dark things. So I'm trying to think. I know that when I read, I think it's the relationships that she has between the characters that makes me want to read more, because even though you're dealing with murder and mystery and things like that, you still have this. It's kind of like when I watch The Golden Girls. It's like I've come home. You know what I mean? Like there's just a peaceful, content feeling. And I think it has to do with the relationship. She's so good at writing that. So anyway, I have book 11, which is The Nature of the Beast, and I'll start that, but I'm taking a quick break, a little palate cleanser, and I'm going to read this book that I told you all about, A Most Uncommon Degree of Popularity. And I didn't realize, I'll have to ask Morgan if she knew, that's apparently a phrase from Jane Austen. I saw it in here. Hang on, where is it? Yes, her daughter enjoyed a most uncommon degree of popularity, which is Jane Austen from Emma. I think I can be forgiven for not knowing that because Emma is not my favorite Jane Austen story. I mean, I like it, but between Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion, those are my two favorites. And the others I'll take them. I've read them, but not my favorites. So, oh, good. Yeah, y'all, I know most of y'all read too, so I appreciate that. Hey, Everdina, glad to see you. And Tish is here also. And it is, 95 plus. Oh, it was. And now it's 68 and rainy. Okay, well, that would, since you're so far up north, that would match what Diane is saying. So very good. And I've just started this book. So I literally this morning. So I'm still in chapter 1. So I can't tell you if I like it or not yet, but so far so good. All right. Now on to other things. There was something I found that I wanted to show you. Oh, yes. So monthly mini color club went out last week. If you, for some reason, have not gotten yours, either I'm holding it back or something like that, and you don't want to see it, then you'll want to close your eyes. But here it is. Dun, dun, dun. I named it Mermaid because look at that cute little stitch marker. How adorable is that? And I tried to match the colors. So that's what we ended up with, was Mermaid. So that's that. What else did I want to show? Oh, we have a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Let's see. It is, this one is the prize. This is, the prize is going for the June Fiber Challenge. I told y'all I would pick the winner this morning, and I did. And it's Troll Hunter with a mini of Love Bug. And these are on, this is, I call it Swanky Little Sister Sock because it's the 100-gram skein that's, you know, the same as the Swanky sock. But Swanky sock, you get 600 yards. This, you get 400 yards in a 100-gram skein. So, and then it has a matching Swanky sock mini with it in Love Bug. So, the winner is Sharon Bucksbaum. Congratulations. It was her post that she posted a picture. She was knitting in Bryant Park. I almost commented on the post and said, this was the winning picture. But then I was like, oh no, I can't reveal it yet. Yeah. So Sharon, I will get that out to you. Congratulations on that. And then let's see. Oh, I didn't say hi to Yvette. Hey, Yvette, I'm glad you're here. I did see your comment. And Lydia is here also. And Carol, OMG, love the Troll Hunter. I know that's a good colorway. It'll have to come back, definitely. For me, I love all the different colors in it. But I guess because of the black, for some reason, it speaks fallish to me. So who knows, maybe for this fall, it'll end up in the shop again. It is a good colorway. I love it. All right. So the graphic for July's Fiber Challenge, oh, I meant to upload it to my pictures and I did not do it. So, but in the newsletter, I have a picture of the graphic that will be the official graphic and post in the Swan City Stitchers for the July Fiber Challenge. I haven't uploaded it yet. I haven't made the post in the Swan City Stitchers, but the graphic is in the newsletter. I'll probably post it, if not today, then I'll post it this weekend, because we're like, July is practically here. It's so fast. It just flies by. We're like halfway to Christmas. I can't believe it. If we haven't already, I haven't seen any, but I'm not in a lot of those Facebook groups, I don't think, but there's a lot of Facebook groups that will do the countdown so many Saturdays until Christmas, and you see it and you're like, I gotta start my Christmas shopping now, because it just seems like it's almost upon us. So anyway, yeah, time flies. Okay, so, and I've already mentioned it, and but in case you haven't seen it, so the challenge for July is to knit some Christmas socks. You can either use traditional Christmas colors in any pattern that you like, or Hanukkah, of course, and then or you can do non-traditional colors, but with an obvious motif that's either like Hanukkah or Christmas, like Christmas trees or something like that in the color work, or the lace or whatever. So in some way or another, it needs to be holiday themed. So that is the goal for July. Hey, Kim, glad to see you on here. And Lydia, did I say hi, Lydia? Hi, Lydia. I haven't seen you in a while. Glad to have you. So, and then Interstellar Shorties. It is not too late to join the knit along for these. I will tell you about mine in just a few minutes. So, and I know you've got plenty of time, especially since it is a shorty sock pattern. I have it on my calendar. When is it? I am announcing the winner. It's in July. It might be in a couple weeks. Oh yeah, I have it on July 11th. So you still have time. And obviously, you don't have to have a completed project. For this one to be prize eligible, I am asking that you use Swan City yarns, but you can use your stash. You can use something that I've dyed. That would be fine too. So anything like that will work. And this is such a great pattern. Obviously, it works. Well, I say obviously, it may not be obvious. I think it looks best when you have two like really bright colors, but it really depends on the look that you're going for. So that what looks best really is up to you. I really love seeing the really bright colors. In fact, I have some projects to show you all what people are knitting up with it. And just to let you know what the prize for that is, it is another skein of Troll Hunter. This one is on Trusty Sock, and it is paired with Peony. So, because there's some pinks in there as well. So there's some over there. Oh, hubba hubba. So that will be the prize for this. And you can post anywhere in the Swan City Stitchers. Obviously, I'll catch it, or in the official thread as well. So, and we have had a lot of people participating, which I love. Hey, Bobby, glad to see you on here. Thank you. I know it is a good color. That was why I picked it. Because I thought it would be a good color for me. So let's look at a few of the projects, shall we? So here we go. The very first one is Jenny Danker. She says that she cast on a test pair until her contrast yarn comes on Friday. Well, I'm just letting you know that this looks awesome. So it is Swan White, and You Are My Sunshine, and Silky Sock. I love that Jenny is knitting with Silky Sock. Let me just say, I saw in one of the Facebook sock groups recently, somebody was asking about knitting with silk. You can totally knit socks with yarn that has silk in it. I think because silk has so much drape, we tend to forget that it's really super strong. You don't have to have nylon in there. A lot of it is just personal taste as to what you like, but you can totally use Silky Sock to knit socks. I've heard some people say, oh, I don't want, I think some people like to have socks with a little bit of grip to them, and Silky Sock with the silk and cashmere in there it's a little more, it just feels more dainty. I think it feels great. I have some socks knit in it, but some people like a little more grit, to their socks. So nylon, it shall be for those people, for sure. All right, and then Pam, she is the designer of the Interstellar Shorties. So this is probably like her, 50th pair that she's knitting, but she's doing it in charcoal and, oh gosh, I forget the green. Is it leprechaun? I think it might be leprechaun is the green. And I happen to know that she's knitting these for her hubby. And there was also a more recent picture that she posted this morning, but when I went back to grab it, I could not find it. So I don't know where it's at, but I'm sure I'll come across it again. And, well, she'll probably be done by the time I find it, really. But here is the beginning of one of her socks. And then Karen is using Limeade and Spirit of Freedom. And so there is her cast on, which I love. And then this one is, oh, that's right, Connie. I knew that. Connie is using Go Big or Go Home and Limeade. And Connie's doing a great job. Just so you see the progression. I think this was her first post? I don't remember. But then, no, I think this I don't remember. Anyway, you can see she's posted multiple pictures, which, by the way, if you're looking to win the prize, that's the way to go. The more you post, the more chances you have to win. And then check this out. She literally has not that much farther to go on her sock, and it looks awesome. I love it so much. And then some other projects moving away from, and I may have missed some, y'all. I apologize if I missed. Sometimes I'm kind of, I'll be scrolling through and I'll see things and I'll like them in a comment. And then afterwards I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to snag that picture. So, and then if I don't snag it, then, Facebook doesn't always want to show it to you again. And so you got to go hunt these things down anyway. So I do appreciate y'all posting your projects. They look awesome. Tammy posted these socks that she's doing 2 at a time. Cherry Blossoms is the main colorway. They're Cherry Blossoms. Yes, I remember Cherry Blossoms. That was such a great colorway. It looks so good. I love it. All right. And then, oops, clicking on the wrong. Oh, there. I think my computer's acting up. All right. Lonnie is using, this is her Good and Plenty colorway from our last Dying to Knit. She has already cast on. Hang on. I got to scrunch over here and see if I can remember what pattern she's knitting on. Oh, yes. Under the Olive Tree. So, and it looks gorgeous. I'm loving how it's knitting up. I can't wait to see when she posts another picture of it, the project getting bigger and seeing what the colors do. I love it so much. All right. And then Karen, Karen, you posted this a couple weeks ago, I think. She was knitting at the Senior Center on her Fiorellino. And I think this is Stargazer that she's knitting with, if I remember correctly. She had to put it down because she's a big test knitter. And so she was picking it back up. I love it. And then Anne, I always know it's Anne when I see the black and white checkerboard pattern, which I love. And let's see, I don't think that she posted the name of the pattern. Anne, you'll have to tell us the name of this pattern. I know that it is Bubblicious on Trusty Sock and Fluffy Lace, but I'm loving that V-neck pattern. Is it a vest? Because it's gorgeous. I love it. I was wanting to look it up. But you know how sometimes you post something, I don't know about y'all. Sometimes I'll post something in a group, and especially if I put the information in the post, especially then, it never fails. Somebody's like, what's the pattern name? And you're like, oh. And sometimes even when you don't remember, you're like, oh, shoot, I forgot. So I didn't want to be a bother to Anne. But Anne, if you don't mind, tell us what the pattern is on that one. And then I wanted to show you all, Valera posted this. It is sock number 7. There's not quite as much red on there as I would like to see, Valera, but I'm sure you feel the same way. Those are her Cub socks. If y'all don't know about it, you have to go back and watch or go look in the Swan City Stitchers to see her or Valera's page. She has posted some pictures of her Cubs socks. And obviously she is on sock number 7. She's keeping track of the scores. So, all right, let's see here. Very good. Tish's yarn is coming. I can't wait to see your color choices knit up, Tish. That's going to be awesome for the Interstellar Shorties. And yeah, Anne, you like the silky sock. I agree. I like that for socks as well. A few bad games, Valera says. Yeah. Anyway, hey, Karen, I was just talking about you and your Fiorellino. So speaking of Fiorellino, let's look at mine. So this is it. I just finished it 2 nights ago. Yeah, like Wednesday night. I don't remember. Wednesday, Thursday. I think it was Thursday. I would have finished a day earlier, but so I was on the sleeve, and those of you who have knit the Fiorellino, you know, the pita stitches, knit, yarn over knit, that you have to have really loose tension. And I didn't just have loose tension. I was like adding yarn to the stitches so that they weren't too tight. Anyway, I was past those. I'd made it to the ribbing, and then when I took my size 3 needles up, you know, my size 3 shorties to knit these, they were already together. So I just assumed that they were tightened, I guess. I don't know what the last project I made with them was, but obviously I did not tighten them because the cable came apart and I dropped stitches. And you know how it is when you drop stitches in the middle. You know, if they're right at the end, you can just hurry up and catch them. No, if the cable comes off from the needle, it's like down and you've got stitches here and over there. And it was a mess and I couldn't pick them up. And I was just like, oh, so I just ripped it back to right above those funny stitches. And then of course I had to redo them. But once you've gotten accustomed to doing them, they go fast. So anyway, so I finished it the other night, blocked it. And here it is. I love the fit. I thought it would grow a little bit more, but I also, when I blocked it, I didn't like pin it and really stretch it. So, and it's fine the way that it is. I love the leprechaun colorway. I love all the different colors that you see. And of course, right across my boobs, you can see some color flashing, which I love, all the different greens that were in it. And one thing that I did not do any side decreases. One thing that I did modify is the sleeves. I made mine a little bit longer, and I'm glad that I did. I think it called for like 7 rows of knitting before you did the special stitches, and I did like 14, and I'm glad because I like this length. In fact, it could be even a tiny bit longer. I would be okay with that, but this is good too. So, and I love the fit. And of course it's in silky sock, which means it's perfect for summer in Florida. And because I've been wearing it all day today, and it's great. So I love it for sure. And Bo likes the fit too. I think I told y'all in the past that he was always like, it looks so boxy on some of my sweaters. Cause I don't know, either because I didn't do the shaping right, or I made them a little big or whatever. They would be kind of boxy sometimes. So, anyway, yes. So yeah, I love it too. The green looks good, which I figured it would. I have a button down shirt that's like a Kelly green color that looks good on me. And so I figured, oh, this is very similar. So it should look good. So, and who wants a knit project that isn't in your color scheme? You know what I mean? It's good to have something, if you know what your colors are, it's always obviously it makes you feel better to wear something that, when you happen to walk by a mirror, you're like, I look pretty good in that. Who doesn't want to say that, right? All right. And then you may have seen I did some, I don't know, social media. I did a reel on these. These are my Mermaid Avenue socks that I did in the Americana sock set, which has comes with Spindleprick Red and Spirit of Freedom. So I finished those. I did one thing that I have started doing when I do a heel flap and gusset. I do not make my heel flap quite as long as most patterns prescribe for them. And the reason for that is that my, whatever this is called, I think this is the instep. I don't know. But, my ankle area through here is not as big, I guess, as some people's. I don't know. I don't have really, you can see I don't have really petite feet. I wear size 8. They've kind of stretched out, flattened out. I usually sometimes wear an 8.5 at this point, but I guess I don't have it's not real big. And I've noticed with the way that socks tend to stretch when you're wearing them, if I have too long of a heel flap, then my socks start sliding down, and I don't like that. And I think it's because the longer your heel flap, the bigger your gusset area is, and it just makes this section, wider, and I don't need that. So I do have a smaller flap there. So Everdina, what size did you make? On my Fiorellino, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. These socks were 64 stitch cast on, but I don't think you're asking about that. I made the smallest size because if you'll remember on the Fiorellino, I was pretty sure that my gauge swatching tension was it looser? Yeah, was looser than my knitting tension. Even though I emulate knitting in the round, I block it. I do all the things you're supposed to do with gauge swatching. But I realized, like I was thinking about it and remembering as I was knitting my gauge swatches, because I knit at least 2 of them for this. I was like, I'm pretty sure that my tension was just more relaxed. And it just is. I think when I'm knitting a project, I'm much more, I kind of pull my yarn tighter. And anyway, And I noticed that I was having to go way down based on my gauge swatches on the needle size. And I was like, that seems ridiculous, especially with Isabel Kramer. I've knit multiple patterns of hers and I've never had that problem before. I think this is a recent issue that I've developed. So anyway, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I think she calls for a size 3. I don't remember exactly what I did. I think I just took the needle size that she said to do and then just picked the smallest size. Because I figure that'll knit up faster anyway. So yeah, because I think I was supposed to do, based on measurements, I was supposed to do like a size 2, but my needle size was just, it kept acting like it was too big and my gauge swatches were off. It was just a very frustrating experience. So I kind of just threw that all out the window and went down. Yeah, maybe go down a size next time. Your fit was great, but it's funny. I think sometimes we are always, and I like a loose fit t-shirt and stuff like that, but let's be honest, they don't always look the best on us. They're not the most flattering. And so if you have a sweater or a shirt that has a good fit, it just looks better. So, and when you look better, you feel better. So, well, I suppose that's a personal thing. Like I said, I like to walk by a mirror and be like, oh, I look good today. All right. Anyway, or when, I walk by the computer where Bo is working and he gives me a second look. That's always a good thing, right? Okay. What's new in the shop? I don't have any actual yarn to show you. I'm looking at some yarn down here and I'm like, why did I pull that yarn out? Oh, I think I pulled those out that was last week. I didn't show you my new projects. Hang on. Before we get to shop update, Carolyn, come on. I cast on 2 new things. First of all, I cast on the Interstellar Shorties. Now, the pattern calls for a full skein and a mini. However, they're for shorties. And I'm knitting a pair for Bo, and Bo is like, shorties? What's that? Bo requires full-size socks. And I'm the same way, let's be honest. I have some shorties, but I prefer, this. Some leg to my socks, and Bo does too. So I can't give him a hard time about that. Oh, this, by the way, was what I have left over. I don't know if you care. I used 2 skeins of silky sock, and that's what I have left over on my Fiorellino. So because Bo wants full-size socks, I have a full skein each of Pomp and Circumstance and confetti. I had to think for a minute there. I looked in my stash. I can't believe that I don't have any leftovers of Pomp and Circumstance on Trusty Sock. But alas, I do not. In fact, I didn't even see any on Silky Sock, even though I should, because I knit a sweater in Pomp and Circumstance many moons ago. So I wonder if it was just hiding. But anyway, needless to say, I have a full skein each of them. And what I am going to do, my first sock for Bo, I cast on, I'm doing the large, of course, for him. And I'm doing, I should say, confetti as the main color. And then you can see Pomp and Circumstance is being brought in. And it's the alternating color pattern it just goes super fast, especially if you hold one strand in each hand. It's super fast. And then on the other sock, I will swap it to have sister socks rather than twinsies. And I'll do Pomp and Circumstance will be the main color. So I didn't ask Bo if that was okay. I just told him this is what's happening. Fortunately, he's a good sport about that, and he doesn't mind that. He likes that. The other thing that I'm currently casting on is another. There it is. Another ranunculus. That's right. I am knitting what is this? My 3rd ranunculus now. But this one is going to be different than the other 2. The other 2 I made pretty much exactly alike. This one, I decided to go with the short sleeved option, but I'm not going to do the short sleeve that they have in there. I'm picturing a half sleeve thereabouts and ribbing. We'll see. We'll see what happens, because the other thing I did, so because of the loose, or that I'm going to do, I'm stuck. Where am I stuck on? My yarn is stuck. Oh, around. I don't know. I've got yarn going everywhere, y'all. What the heck? Okay. I got it. About to start cussing. It seems to be stuck around. One of them is intertwined around the leg. I'll have to grab it. I don't normally have this problem, but I was casting on, and so who knows? Anyway. Okay, where was I at? Ranunculus. So for my others, I use the size 10 needle that the pattern calls for. Make the smallest size because it's got so much ease built into it, and I don't want all that ease. So I'm holding, instead of last time I held one strand of swanky sock with 2 strands of fluffy lace. This time I'm only doing 1 strand of the fluffy lace. So I want it to be a little more open and airy, the fabric, which that should give me. And also, I won't use as much fluffy lace. I needed 3 skeins last time. And I'm hoping this time I know I will. I only need 2, because 600 yards is enough for a long sleeve ranunculus for me in the smallest size, even with long sleeves. Did I say that? So I know a short sleeve option will be just fine. So I'm using Swan white, of course, and this is sprinkles. So I was casting on as I was sitting here waiting for 1 o'clock to roll around. So I literally, this calls for the double twist cast on. And so, and I have to go very slow. I notice that if I go fast, it's like the bottom ends up looking weird. And so, and then I have to pull them back out because I want my cast on to look good. So, and I got to cast on like, I don't know, 60 stitches. So I think I'm about a third of the way through. So anyway, the ranunculus goes so fast. I've told you all that. It just knits up super fast. So now I've got 2 new projects to work on this weekend, which I'm super excited about. So yeah. Okay. Now, let's see. Where were we at? Okay. What else? Okay, shop update. So no new yarn. As my Dying to Knit people know, I have been busy dyeing up Christmas colorways for Christmas in July and getting a good head start there. So you can expect coming up in Christmas in July, some Christmas colorways. One was really giving me fits, but I worked it out and got the colorway that I wanted. So that's good. But this being kind of Christmas in July Eve, since we are running right into July, I went ahead and I released the advent calendars. So you have 2 options. One is Christmas, and that one is called Christmas Card Chronicles. It's based on vintage postcards that I have for you. And the idea is that you'll get 4 sock bundles. It'll be a full skein and a mini, either in fingering or DK, you choose. And then you'll open them on each. You can open them whenever you want, but don't reveal them before the 4 Advent Sundays. All right, which they start this year, November 30th is the first one. So those will ship the very beginning of November so that you have it in time. And then the second option is a Hanukkah. What did I call that one? I forget what I called that one. Anyway, it's also vintage themed. That one is 8 mini skeins, that one to open on each night of 8 nights of Hanukkah. So some of you have ordered both, totally fine. They are different. So, I mean, you've got 4 in the Christmas, that's 4 separate sock bundles. Those are, and like I said, they're based on vintage postcards. So those obviously will be different. The 8 mini skeins will run along a theme, a vintage Hanukkah theme. So I'm excited about that one too. So that is what's available. I have a certain amount out. And so I'll just leave those up until they sell out or until it's time for me to start dyeing and to be done with it, basically. Carol, the ranunculus has become my nemesis. I'm on my 4th try to get through it. Oh no. Huh, that's too bad. I hate that. Yeah, I got very lucky with the ranunculus. I've told this story a bunch of times. Teresita came to me and said many moons ago and was like, let's knit the ranunculus. And I was like, oh, goody. Of course, I didn't say that to Teresita. To Teresita, I was like, yes, let's do it. But I had seen the pictures. I don't have the front page pictures of the ranunculus, but most people will tell you, yeah, you look at the picture and it's kind of like, I don't want it to fit like that. It's very loose and open. Even these, you can see she's got so much ease built into it that, that fit doesn't look great on everyone. And so, but I was willing to try it, but I just wasn't sure. So I just kind of decided, okay, she calls for a size 10 needle. I'm just going to cast on. And I knew I wanted bulk. I didn't want it to be as open. These 2 pictures don't show as open a fabric. The ones on the front page of the design are very open and airy. And I was like, I don't want that. So I decided, we use 1 strand of fingering, 2 strands of lace weight. That will add some serious bulk to the fabric, give it a good gauge or whatever. And yeah, and I got very lucky, very lucky. So I'm sorry that you're having issues with it. So Carol, how will yes, Carol. So Carol, they'll be up for the next couple of weeks, unless they sell out. There's still plenty there. I think you'll be fine. And then I'll revisit it if I need to. I'm trying to think what it depends on my postcards. I do have a limited number of postcards, so I have to see if I can get more, if anything should happen, like I sell out, which I don't think I will. So, anyway, yes, Bo says this new yarn is something. I got a very good reaction from the Dying to Knit people. They seem to like it too. So I hope you all do as well. So coming up for July, I've got multiple Christmas colorways being released throughout the month, including a self-striping colorway at some point in the month. I was also asked to do a Hanukkah colorway. I haven't even developed that one yet. So I just got to see, with these self-striping colorways, and I don't have the best tools for it yet to make it as efficient as it could be. So it takes me a little bit longer than other, people who just dye self-striping. I just kind of do it for the fun of it. I like to be challenged. I like, y'all know that. So yeah, but I have developed a self-striping for Christmas that I love. It was based loosely on the peppermint bark colorway, if y'all remember that, and the minis that went with it. Anyway, it looks good, I have to say. So that's my plan for Christmas in July. And so 1 week from tomorrow, I will be at Knitcessities for my first Christmas in July trunk show. And then I will also be at Knit and Stitch on July 19th with also a holiday sock blank dyeing experience. I know that the class listing, there's a link to it. I don't know how many spots are left for that. And then July 26th, I will be at She Sells Yarn in Ormond Beach. So lots of local trunk shows. I will have Christmas colorways at each of them. And then August 8th and 9th, I've had this up on the website for a while, but I went and looked. Actually looked at the site for the Southern Comforts Fiber Festival in Charlotte. And y'all, the classes that they have are awesome. They have like a bunch of different spinning classes and weaving and felting. There's one on Dorset buttons. There's one on like upcycling sweaters. So there's a lot of not just your general, I mean, there's like an, beginning spinning class. They have some of that stuff too, but they also have some unique specialized classes as well. So if you're anywhere near Charlotte or can come for the weekend, and it's pretty inexpensive to get in. I didn't look at the cost of the classes. I think those vary, but I was like so impressed with all the classes that they have. Quite frankly, I'm tempted to leave Bo at the booth and just go take classes all weekend myself. Especially the spinning classes. And then at the end of August, 22nd and 24th at the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival, they too, I didn't get a chance. I'll look and see what all they have, but look at their website because I know they have classes galore as well. And apparently that one, I have spoken to the lady who runs that one, and she said that it's a very much like a retreat feeling. It's at a hotel, and so it feels very much like a 3-day retreat with classes and obviously all the vendors and stuff like that. So both excellent events to come to. I would love to see you always. So, and then what else? I think that's it. I think that is all I have. Oh, I don't think I told you all, but in next year, and I don't have it on the website yet, in the end of March, I will be at the East Texas Fiber Festival. And there are some others that I'm trying to get into and seeing what's up. So obviously I have those on the website, so you can always find them there. Yes. Sorry. You can always find the events there. I usually, as soon as I know about it, I update it. I haven't done one for the East Texas just because I didn't see a vendor badge yet. But I will make sure that I get up there. So Laura, you've tried the ranunculus twice too. Used a very fluffy yarn. Interesting. Okay. Carol. Yeah. So Carol's in the Dying to Knit group, and she may have gotten a hold of one of my one-of-a-kind colorways, which, by the way, part of getting this very specific color that I was looking for, I dyed up a fair amount of one-of-a-kinds. So those will be released in July as well. And Carol happened to see one and was like, I want that one specifically. And so she got her hands on it. And then Laura, okay. I think Bo is trying to get Laura to come to, which one is that? Oh, I think North Carolina. Okay. So Bobby, you're going to miss me again at Knit and Stitch. You're always traveling, Bobby. Always. I love it. Very good. All right. Anyway, so it's Friday. Y'all know what that means for me. Groceries, yes. And then because I don't have a festival or a trunk show this weekend. I was looking out the windows the other day and I was like, ugh, those look awful. So I think I'm going to clean windows this weekend. I don't typically do that during the summer, but I figure if I get up early, get out there before, the sun pops up over all the houses, I could get some work done without suffering too terribly much. So that's my plan for this weekend, is to clean the windows, because I was just too busy when the temperatures were cooler, So I got to do that. And then Sunday we have a family get together with Bo's side of the family. So busy weekend, but it should be somewhat relaxing as well. I hope you all have good plans. Are you staying inside and knitting, anyone? Or, somebody made that comment that that's the good thing about knitting. You can do it in hot weather and cold weather, because if it's hot, you just stay inside in the air conditioning. And I'm like, yes, thank you. So anyway, all right. Well, I hope that y'all have a good weekend. Next Friday is July 5th. Am I right? So that means there won't be any shipping on July 5th, but I will still be here at 1 o'clock. So I hope that y'all can join me. All right. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have not subscribed, I invite you to do so. Obviously, it helps me out. But yeah, and I think that's it. So I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. All right, here. Bye.